What was like your first like big project that you got out on your own?
Yeah.
I know you did the bunker renovation at Buffalo Rock and some other projects across the state, but what was the first one that someone was like, we're going to do it, we're going to take a shot on it, if you will?
Yeah. So I, like I said, I started the business February of 19, pretty much the day after I found out my wife was pregnant.
Leap of faith.
Yes. Or more like shoved off the cliff. But I didn't have any work there for the first couple months, and the first women's amateur tournament at Augusta National was happening in April. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can do the math. Only a couple months from February, and I was fortunate to have, through my travels, because I traveled a lot during that time period, during that early time period of starting my business, I went and visited every single Perry Maxwell golf course because largely I didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was a way to, and through all the people I met, and some people were just really interesting people who had no connections to the golf business that were, a blast just to get to meet, and then others were very well connected. One of those that I met was very well connected, and he sent me a ticket to the women's amateur, which I was excited. I still have the brochure for him, and it's I feel like pretty iconic event.
Oh yeah, especially the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, and what that meant for the game and where it's headed, I think is a good message. And so when I was at that tournament, I was just walking around by myself, and I was having a fine time, but I always like to have conversations. I'm not the one to just sit alone. So I engaged a volunteer who was on the 11th, volunteering on the 11th green, and we just kind of just cut it up for probably 15 minutes, and I exchanged business cards, and a couple months later we were building a par 3 course for him in his own backyard, and so
good.
And so
that's awesome.
that's kind of, that was, and I was at one point considered quitting and getting a real job, and stop trying to,
Scratching the itch
play in
and living
fantasy
the dream.
land.
Yeah.
And so that really, and that kind of got the ball started.
It's so awesome.
And that guy's still a close friend.
Yeah.
And we talked to him a decent amount, and so, but that's how it started.
Where was that? Where was the house?
In Bernie, Texas, about 45 minutes outside of San Antonio.
Okay. Yeah.
So
driving distance, relatively close.
So was it completely your own original design? That was your first?
It was a new build, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you have, he's a very engaged in architecture, so he had a lot of his own ideas.
Sure.
And I helped execute sort of his vision. So I would just call it a collaboration.
Yeah.
I think my name's on it, but it is a collab.
It's like, hey, this is kind of what my idea is. This is kind of what I've been thinking of. This is how the land looks. What do you think? And then, do you prefer it when someone comes to you that way, or do you like it when people come to you?
Sorry.
No, I love that because it's the same way that I would be the same way. Because when people are paying you to do a job, they're paying you to do a job, right? It's not like, hey, we're bringing you in, but this is what we want you to do.
Right.
And you're just like, well, I'm just a builder at this point. My creativity and what you're paying me for.
Yeah.
All the work I've been doing, all the lessons I've been learning, and my style is not this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I would never build anything that I didn't feel like represented something I believed in as well. But sorry, Philip. But I'm empathetic toward it because I get it. Like, it's to me, it's like the most fun thing you can do professionally is design golf.
Right.
And so, like, whenever I have a client who wants to be really involved in design, I understand where they're coming from. I understand why they have that passion. And so, and if our kind of visions align, well, then it's going to be a great working relationship. Yeah. But no, I mean, to be honest, having a client who's the best clients are well funded and kind of let you kind of
Go do your thing.
Go do your thing.
Yeah.
But I also understand that you got to communicate, and you got to have, and I'm a believer in customer service, and really the only form of customer service in my business is communication.
Yeah,
Sure.
And so I still engage high communication with my clients, but I don't ever say, I'm just going to go disappear for a while.
See you in 6 months.
I'll come back.
Done.
Yeah, constant back and forth.
Yeah.